Welcome back to Gibbo MMA, and what a week it has been. It's the morning after UFC 316 and also the boxing Jai Opetaia. So it's been a busy few days, especially yesterday. We had the UFC, and then I rolled straight into the boxing IBF World Cruiserweight and Ring Magazine World Champion Jai Opetaia defended his title against Italian Claudio Squeo on the Gold Coast. So I was at that event. So yeah, pretty big day yesterday, watching UFC since just after 8 a.m. and then the boxing didn't finish up until just after 11:30 p.m. So, but yeah, I'll start with the with the UFC first. So we had Merab and still defeats Sean O'Malley in the end of the third round. He gets that anaconda choke on O'Malley there and just, pretty much dominated the whole fight, just doing Merab things. And we also had Harrison become ANU, defeats Juliana Pena. So we got the two title fights there. But yeah, Harrison comes over from the PFL and gets that UFC belt. It only took her 2 fights to get a title shot, and achieves that dream of getting that UFC belt. And then we had a whole other fights to get into, and we had 4 performance bonuses. So we had Merab got performance of the night. We had the guy from the Korean guy from Looking for a Fight. He got performance of the night as well for that outstanding knockout. Just that could possibly be knockout of the year. Just check hook, just turned it over, and just the guy just instantly went to sleep and just he face planted on the canvas, a bit like what happened to Justin Gaethje. And then we had I'm just trying to bring it up, trying to remember. So yeah, Merab, Kayla Harrison, she got a extra 50k. And the last one was Kevin Holland for his Das choke, anaconda choke on Vicente Luque. So 4 performance bonuses on the card, no fight of the night. We just had great performances all around. All the fights were great. If there was a fight of the night, you could give it to Quillan Salkilld and Usmaz. That was a pretty great fight. Third round was pretty electric. But yeah, so I'll start off with Merab and Sean O'Malley fight. So coming into this fight, everyone was saying Sean doesn't really deserve it. Like he should have. People weren't too excited because Merab went out and defended his title, and O'Malley pretty much just sat out. Well, didn't sit out. He had to get some surgery for his torn labrum, and then so they booked the rematch and pretty much went how a lot of people thought it would. Just Merab, the machine, just that high pressure pace and his cardio. And this time it didn't go to a decision. He actually got him out of there with that anaconda choke. So so starting with the first round, O'Malley opened really well with that spinning back kick to the body, and I was like, okay, here we go. This is what we need, because in the last fight, once he started hitting Merab in the body, he started really hurting him. So he got off to a good start, and then from then he was just on the back foot, circling the cage, trying to get off the fence. Merab was just like, all right, you got one, but now time to strap in, get your seatbelt on, because I'm coming for you. And Sean O'Malley was just not running, but he was just skating around the cage, just trying to avoid those takedowns, and which takes a lot of energy out of you. And then Merab eventually gets his takedown, But yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, so round one, nothing too much. Merab gets that on the judges' scorecard, and then yeah, round two. Notice in this fight, Merab started to really, because he's known for not hurting people. Like he goes in there and just wins, just pretty much on dominance of takedowns, people getting up, and just the optics, which is of dominating someone just by not getting hit too much, but just putting them in bad positions on the ground and up against the cage. So they started trading in round two. They traded some shots early. Merab seems to have opened the shoulders up a bit more and trusts his striking a lot. And then it kind of went into a bit of a lull, just kind of trying to still figure each other out. And Sean stuffed a lot of takedowns in that round. So yeah, and then towards the end, they started trading off a lot more, which was exciting. And this is where Sean kind of wants to be. It's like, all right, if we're going to kind of start trading shots, this is where I can win and knock Merab out. But Merab chin holds up. Sean, you could see he's worked on his takedown defense. He did stuff a lot. But in the fight, Merab landed 5 out of 12 takedowns. And it only went to the third round in this fight. And the third round, the finish happened. So he did stuff a lot, but yeah, just still wasn't enough because he ended up getting submitted. So we head into the third round. We're like, one judge actually gave Sean the second round. But yeah, so yeah, a bit of again, still figuring each other out. Okay, you've got some takedown defense, but Merab just doing Merab things, just kept pressuring him. So we come out in the third and Merab gets that early takedown and we're like, and then that was in my mind like, okay, this is pretty much the fight here on out. Just Merab's just gonna get the takedown and then not let him back up, but that Sean's gonna fight his way to get back up, and that's just gonna put so much that's just going to drain your cardio so much. But Sean ended up being on his back pretty much the whole of the round. About 2 minutes to go, he finally managed to get back to the cage. He stood back up, and then he instantly gets suffocated, taken down again, and Merab was just laying knees into his thighs, just absolutely chopping his legs apart, just corking him, and yeah, just absolutely suffocated him. And yeah, I think that just really blew the gas on Sean O'Malley, and then Merab then gets him back down again fully, and then ends up in a north-south position and gets that anaconda choke. And yeah, Sean O'Malley was just absolutely dominated and just didn't have the energy to be able to defend it and have answers for it. So yeah, so Merab, it was great to see that this time he actually got a finish, because this is only his second submission all time. His first one via choke, if you want people to keep watching you and being exciting and sell those pay-per-views, you got to start getting those finishes. And because fighting Merab outside looking in and the way his fights are gone, like, you're not really getting hurt. You're just getting absolutely out cardioed and just sort of ragdolled, but you're not copping mass amount of damage. And just going into this fight, I was just hoping Sean would just be like, he's not going to hurt me. He's just going to just CrossFit me, just like out cardio. So maybe just start throwing knees, uppercuts up the middle, and don't worry about him coming forward, because he's not going to knock you out. Just really, you should be going forward as the one who doesn't get taken down. Put it back on them. Go, hey, I'm here to take you down, sort of thing. And yeah, we didn't see too much of that. And yeah, so at this stage, no one's really going to be beating Merab if they keep fighting the way everyone else has fought and just being on the back foot. So, and again, hats off to Merab. People are saying he's probably going to be the greatest bantamweight of all time. You got Aljo there and Dominic Cruz. Because just because of the run Merab's been, he's fought the best of the best, even just before he got to the title. Let's just to name off a few. Let's go check out what his run was like. Let's just bring it up. So, like, he's fought. Like, he beat Marlon Moraes with that. I think he almost got knocked out in that fight too, that comeback. Then he beats Jose Aldo, Piotr Jan, who's a future bantamweight champ, Henry Cejudo, Triple C, beats him, and then gets the title shot, beats Sean, and then beats Umar, which pretty much cement, like, everyone was like, okay, we get it. Like, the beat in the Magomedov, like, the way he did, and then now the second title defense against Sean, but, like, yeah, he's taken out some heavy hitters on his way to the title, and yeah, he's probably going to go down as one of the great bantamweights. It's pretty incredible what he's done, and just the fashion he does it. No one's got answers for him, and maybe his next fight, which everyone's saying, and they had him on the telecast, Corey Sandhagen, can he have the answer for the machine? Can he break down the machine? Corey Sandhagen. He's very lateral. He had a good fight against Umar Nurmagomedov, lost by decision, just again because of, the scoring criteria, just the optics of takedowns and grappling and control time. Like, you just lose fights on that, even if sometimes you do more damage. So can Corey Sandhagen come in with a different approach than just to, backpedal and stuff takedowns? I just don't think that's the answer. Like, we've seen that not be the answer. So, and what's next for Sean O'Malley now? Like, he got that rematch. I think just obviously it helps having a big name and bringing eyes, and it's again prize fighting. So he was ranked number one, but there was probably Sandhagen probably could have deserved it. Like, leading up to this fight, I put out a clip from my previous podcast episode saying, should we trust these guys that do all this talk, and I was saying, like, can we trust the big talkers anymore? Like, about, I made these adjustments, I'm training like this now, I've cut out these things that were having a negative impact, like Sean said, with the social media, no more weed. And you could see he made some improvements, but just, is he in the Max Holloway position where Holloway just couldn't get through Volk, and then he's just now going to be, the guy, the gatekeeper guy, just having to fight top 5 guys. And, I think that's where Sean's at now. He's going to have to now kind of keep that top 3 ranking and start fighting these guys coming in, like Song Yudong, Umar Nurmagomedov, Piotr Jan. I think he's going to be stuck just trying to he's going to have to go and get, probably because it's Sean and the name and the UFC likes him, he's probably going to only have to fight 2 top 5 guys to get another title shot. I think at least 3, you'd have to go out there and get at least 3 wins, just because you got that immediate rematch and just the way it's gone. And that's if Merab's still champion, whereas he'd be hoping Corey Sandhagen wins, because if he goes out and gets a win himself, he could then fight Sandhagen for the title. So people are suggesting he could move up to featherweight and fight Aljo, but no, I don't think the UFC will want to do that. Merab was saying Sean got really lucky against Aljo. Like, Merab in the post-fight interview said Aljo was striking better and piecing him up better in his training camp, sparring, than what Sean was doing. So yeah, I think Yeah, bit of a what's next for Sean again, like, sitting here and analyzing, reviewing it, like, again, you got to give credit to just going in there, giving it a try. Like, he's set himself up so well in life with what he's done so far in his career, and you can only be happy and congratulate the guy for where he's at. He, especially getting submitted, you're coming out pretty healthy. Like, he didn't look like he copped a lot of damage and just got outclassed. And you could definitely roll into another fight in 3 or 4 months towards the end of the year. So again, both guys should be proud of themselves. Like, even though Sean lost, he put on that entertainment for us. Didn't go his way, but just gotta just sit back and remember, even if the people lose, and a part of this game is promoting, and sometimes they just say stuff they might not so believe, but you just gotta sometimes put on a bit of a persona to sell those tickets, and that's what it's all about in the fight game. And so again, congrats to Sean for coming in healthy, and even just the changes he's made. It seems like he's a lot more happy person, and that's what's most important than just being winning a fight. That just winning fights and all that, like, you got to be happy in your own life too. So that's the main event in the books in the bantamweight. So we'll move on to the co-main, which was the women's bantamweight. Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. Pretty much went exactly how we thought it would. Just Harrison just steamrolling her and either knocking ground and pound or submitting her. So Harrison, 2-time Olympic gold medalist in the judo, and in the first round gets Juliana Pena up against the cage, and you could just instantly see her once she got that body lock. She just gets them really high up, tall, up around sort of the underhooks, and then just uses those trips, and just gets Pena down quite easy. And I feel like that uses less effort and gas tank, having those judo throw takedowns, because you're doing those trips, whereas if you're going for double legs and stuff, you really got to use your arms, and you can really squeeze out that lactic acid and gas out. So Harrison really, and when you're that good, like, you're so efficient at it too. So Harrison gets her down, just dominates her, bit of ground and pound, and then towards the end, she's still a grounded opponent, and Pena does an illegal up kick, so then a point gets taken away. So that round ended up being a 10-8 for Harrison. And then we head into round 2, and again, Harrison just pressures her, gets the takedown again, and just absolutely smothers Juliana Pena. And then towards, there's about 15 seconds to go, she's like, well, go for a quick sub here, and just absolutely, and then gets the Kimura off of sort of like side mount. It was like full mount or side mount. Just gets the late Kimura, and Pena taps. So pretty much went how a lot of us thought was going to go. People were romanticizing the outcome of Pena coming in and doing what she did to Amanda Nunes in their first fight, and just taking the shots, and then just using her cardio and just steams rolls Harrison into the later rounds, because Harrison had a tough weight cut, and as that can take it out of you in the fight. But because she was paying really high odds. It was like $5-6. So what's that, plus 500, plus 600? But again, Harrison just too dominant, and to end it, which was really good in the post-fight interview, Amanda Nunes enters the cage, and they face off. So pretty much it looks like Amanda Nunes will be coming back and fighting Kayla Harrison. So yeah, that's going to be good to, GOAT, or one's pretty much the greatest of all time in the women's MMA, but then you got Kayla Harrison as far as combat sports and what she's done. So that's going to be a really great fight. So that might happen towards the end of the year. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And then just to keep running through the card, we had Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. Gastelum back at middleweight. First round, Pyfer absolutely starches Gastelum, knocks him down, but couldn't finish him. This went to a decision, and Gastelum's never been knocked out. He's just got that durable chin. Like, he gets knocked down, but not knocked out. And Pyfer had Dean Thomas in his corner, which would have been a lot of help, because even when he knocked him down, he went for a couple of big ground and pound swings and then just let Gastelum back up. He didn't want to get into any danger on the ground. But then after that, like, Pyfer just, the whole fight, he was just looking for that one-hit wonder shot, and it was kind of detrimental to him because he could have almost lost on points. Like, he did win on the scorecards, but, Rogan and DC were just like, oh, this is pretty close. You could have given Kelvin round 2 or round 3. Like, just wasn't much activity from Pyfer. Would have liked to see him throw a lot more kicks. Like, he did land one good head kick, but never went back to it. Would have seen him like to mix up, some kicks in there, because, he just wasn't setting up that power shot. I know going back into training, they'll review it and definitely see that as something to improve on and to implement. He did say he was just, pretty rusty in there and all that, but if you wants to keep progressing and to really finish these high level guys, you got to start really using the jab and following it up. Getting them with the third or fourth shot, just like what Topuria does. He doesn't get you with that first shot. He throws a bit more volume to get that finish. And then we go to Patchy Mix versus Mario Bautista. This was Patchy Mix makes his UFC debut. He's a former Bellator world champion. Was considered one of the best, or the best bantamweight in the world. But pretty disappointing scenes for Patchy Mix. It wasn't really competitive at all. Well done to Mario Bautista. Great performance. He had a lot of hate coming in to this fight just because of how the Jose Aldo fight went. A lot of billing his way, but I don't even think he went for one takedown this fight. So and it helps when your opponent, Patchy Mix, doesn't move their head at all. Like, the guy's, it's like his neck was fused or something. He couldn't even move his head at all. Like, he just took shots, took a lot of body shots as well. Well done to Batista, just peppered the body, easy money. And Patchy just looked like his feet were on cement, just not moving at all, and not even level changing, going for takedowns. Like, he did take it on 3 weeks' notice, and Batista's on an 8-fight win streak, so he's investing really top level guy. But a lot of people were pretty disappointed. Just, he felt like he could have performed a lot better, but as Dana says, once you come into the UFC, the real big stage, it's very hard to perform well. But I'll be keen to see how Patchy Mix gets matched up next, and with a full camp. But it's not what you want to be doing coming into another organization after saying and thinking you're the best in the world because you're at a different organization. But it wasn't the best outing for him. Just stood there and just took a heap of damage, and he's known for his submissions and just didn't even try really any takedowns until maybe the last round. Like, it was yeah, pretty disappointing. Yeah, it was pretty frustrating to watch, but well done to Mario Batista. Gets back in the fan book, in the good books, a little bit better with that performance. But yeah, so and then to open the pay-per-view card, we had Holland versus Luque. Holland, this is the weight class for him. He gets the dash choke on Vicente. Because he likes middleweight because he doesn't have to cut the weight, but then he's just a bit too light for those guys. So yeah, if he can, he says he's a professional now, and really sticking to the welterweight. This is, I think this is his third fight of the year. Let's quickly check. He's been on a bit of a pretty good run. Yeah, so he started with the win over Gunnar Nelson in March, gets a decision. And then, so he started with a loss against Reina Derrida at middle. So that was at middleweight. So he loses via rear naked choke against Reina Derrida. And we all know RDR now, he's wrestling Robert Whittaker. So it's not like he lost to just some, middle of the pack guy. Like he lost against the one championship double champ. So, and now I think that really set in stone. Like, I've just lost back-to-back fights at middleweight because before that he lost against Roman Dolidze. He's like, all right, we're just going to be more disciplined and go, I can beat these guys at welterweight. So he moves back down, beats Gunnar Nelson in March, and now in June beats Vicente Luque. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Kevin Owens' run continues at this weight class, because he's a big guy for the weight class and he's so long, and just the way he wrapped that DAS in, just bang, it was in, and Luque was tapping straight away. He's a great talker. He's exciting guy, and on the mic he calls out the worst welterweight, Kobe Covington, in his words. So I think that'd be a great fight to make that a main event. Make that a fight night main event, not at the Apex. Chuck it in Texas or one of the cities in America, because that would be an exciting fight. You could, or even chuck it as a co-main or on the pay-per-view, because it'd be a great press conference to have those two guys just yapping away. So yeah, great work on the mic from Holland. And we keep going to Joshua Van. He was the guy who I was saying to look out for. He's a must-watch fight. He gets the third round knock TKO over Bruno Silva. Yeah, he's on everyone's radar in the flyweight division. He's an absolute beast, probably the best boxing in the division. I would like to see him start mixing it up a bit more with some more kicks, because he was copping some leg kicks, and in that boxing stance, you're more prone to copping those. But yeah, great performance. Bruno Silva, what a tough guy. Like, he took some absolute shots in the first 2 rounds, and then eventually it just wore on him. But yeah, great performance by Josh Van. He should be in the rankings. It's the flyweights. Yeah, so he's ranked 14th, and he just beat ranked 12 Bruno Silva. So he'll probably come in tomorrow, be top 12 ranking, and I wouldn't mind seeing him fight maybe Steve Erceg or something. I think that'd be a good fight, getting versus a top 10 guy now. Yeah, so he's always a must-watch, Josh Van, and so it was. And we move to what could be possibly the knockout of the year. What's his name? It was Ju Sung Yo versus Jaka Saragi. He got the absolute brutal left hook knockout. Jaka just came steaming in, and Yo just turned over that left hook. Just didn't even put anything behind it. He just turned it over, just absolutely precise. Jaka's just coming in, and his neck just absolutely snapped like his jaw just disconnected from his neck really, and then just face plants. Like it was just absolutely like magnificent. So he got a performance of the night, yo. So he was actually signed from Korean Zombies promotions. So they had on the latest looking for a fight, which Dana does with Matt Serra and Dean Thomas. They go around to different promotions around the world and, you know, try and sign some guys from these regional scenes. And yeah, this guy performed well on the Korean Zombie one and got signed because I think he's probably 30, so they don't like to sign guys who are, you know, start to get on a bit, especially at those lighter weights. So he's at featherweight, but you know, he got signed, and yeah, it paid off, especially with that performance. So yeah, well done to you, Yo, there. And then lastly on this card, I gotta dive in and congratulate Australia's own Quillan Salkilld. He what a great performance. He beats Yanal Ajmuz 29-28 cross 2 and 30-27. So this Ajmuz guys, this guy, he's trained by Khabib's first coach in America. So you coming in, you're like, oh, this guy's got some good grappling and wrestling, and people don't know this Quillan Salkilld guy has it all, and he ended up dominating in the wrestling. He got multiple takedowns, great control. Anywhere Uzmos wanted to go, Quillan had an answer for it. And he's only 25. I think Yanal's pushing is 30. So like in his prime sort of like physique. But Quillan, the younger guy, and just, you know, I think he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But yeah, people have got to start putting respect on Australians grappling. Like DC was saying while commentating, like when he versed the Australian guys in wrestling, he was saying like, oh, it's a buy round. But yeah, I think I'll start thinking twice about that now. But yeah, Quillan, it was a high pace he put on. And then towards the third round, he started getting hit a bit with punches. He started to gas a bit just because of that high pace. Yeah, he was on the back foot a bit, copped some punches, you know, showed he's got a chin, took it well. And yeah, so well done to him. Tough fight, and that's what you want as you keep building your resume. Only his second fight, but because the first one was a 19-second knockout, so he didn't really get to show the world much. But on the regional scene, we've seen how good his well-roundedness is, and he really got to show that this fight. And yeah, just put on a great performance. So any unranked lightweight in his division, is if they see his name on the contract on their desk, they're probably going to be thinking twice, or hopefully, you know, faking injuries, because I don't think anyone's going to want to fight Quillan. And I think it just lines up well. He's on the first ever Australian MMA cover of the magazine. So that's done by, shout out, Mitch Tinley. So he's on the cover of that magazine, which I've ordered. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. So quite a big culture shift and building of the MMA in Australia. It's really becoming mainstream, and you know, it took Volkanovski to defend his belt like 2 or 3 times up until the Ortega fight, until Australia really got behind him. Like, I remember he won the belt, and then I saw him at Eternal MMA event, which was my first ever MMA event I went to, and it was like 2019 or something, and he just won the belt, and I was just like, oh, that's Volkanovski. And this was on the Gold Coast, and he was cornering Kobe Thickness. And I was just like, you know, yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, yeah, wow. And like, still people didn't really, like, if you're an MMA fan, you'd know of him, and you'd be like, oh, cool. But yeah, there wasn't too much like notoriety or like, yeah, but so it's good to see people earlier on in their UFC career getting, the push and recognition like Quillan's starting to get. Because, yeah, like Volk, it just wasn't as big then. But obviously Volk now is like just loved worldwide. Like he's, household name now. But it took him, just because of the way the culture was around MMA in Australia, it took a while for people to notice him and get behind him. So yeah, it's great to see now a young up and comer, and then also a magazine being released with him on the cover. Yeah, it's a pretty good the way the culture's going. So yeah, I'm definitely really excited about this and about Salkilld continuing, because I said last week leading up, I thought he can be a future lightweight champ, and I released that little clip of it, and people were like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy take." I know it's an early one, but I still believe it. Within 5 years, and people started coming back to that post, going, "Oh, like, oh, okay," like they started to respect it a bit more. Obviously, he won. He's only 2 fights in, but yeah, I think people started to see, and even Joe Rogan was saying, like in DC, they were just so impressed how skilled he is and how well rounded he is this early on in his career. So yeah, well done to Quillan Salkilld. Okay, so that's the UFC 316 done. I'll just quickly mention Dana White was at the press conference. He's not keeping up to date with what John Jones is doing. I think John Jones ain't coming back, so there's no surprise. He's still promoting the Canelo Crawford fight. People thought he got booted from it, but no, he's still promoting it. And Donald Trump was in attendance with some of his family members, which is pretty cool. Getting the president there. So yeah, all round great card. I'd probably give it like a B+. Great performances as far as like star power. Wasn't like massive, wasn't like a massive, I just don't start giving A-, A+ until you got some big stars, kind of like a McGregor or John Jones or whatever. So I'd give us a B+, all round great card. A lot of questions answered. So yeah, that's in the books, and we move on to UFC Atlanta next weekend with Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Kamaru coming off a 2-year sort of layoff, just dealing with some injuries, just trying to get healthy. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. So he's wanting to get back in the win column. And Joaquin Buckley, he's on a bit of a tear at the moment. He just beat end of last year Kobe Covington. But yeah, Kamaru Usman, people have really forgotten, not forgotten, but because he's just been out for so long, who this guy really is. Like, he was getting up there, like he got 5 title defenses in the welterweight division. Like, he just absolutely dominated there for a 2-year period, or 3-year period. So yeah, and ever since that head kick loss against Edwards, like it hasn't been downhill. Like, he lost the rematch on a majority decision, and then he fights Hamzat on short notice, and loses a majority decision, very close fight, and then he's just been out for 2 years. So like, I'm looking forward to seeing him return and reminding people like how much of a beast he is, because probably goes GSP and then him as greatest welterweights of all time. I'd say he's probably the modern era greatest welterweight, because GSP is kind of like the that older school. But the only thing is he's getting up there in age. He's 38 years old. He's he can't even run. His knees are shot. And now he's versing, this young, hungry Joaquin Buckley, who's just been on an absolute tear. Joaquin, ever since he's been at welterweight, he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak. His last 2 fights, he's got stoppages. Took out Stephen Thompson, and then sort of TKO doctor stoppage Kobe Covington, with Kobe having that cut. So yeah, he's coming up, Joaquin Buckley, and if he gets this, he possibly could get a title fight. But the welterweight division's just so stacked at the moment. So yeah, this is UFC Atlanta main event. I might do another episode this week to maybe break down this card. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get too much into this card and fight, but yeah, looking forward to that. I think Joaquin could probably most likely win, just because he's been so active. I think inactivity will hurt Kamaru in this fight, and I think he'll just be a step behind the pace. But to move on and sort of end on the boxing that happened on where I am on the Gold Coast. We had Jai Opetaia versus Claudio Squeo. So Jai Opetaia, if you don't know, is Australian Samoan, and he's the IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World Champion. Everyone's been trying to avoid him, even the ranked 1 cruiserweight in the world, which is Ramirez, and he's fighting in a couple of weeks for the defending, or for the WBC and WBO. So Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. So he's the number 1 cruiserweight in the world, and Jai Opetaia last night got the stoppage win. He broke the Italian's jaw in the 5th round, and it was pretty brutal. He said he even heard it like click, Jai. So yeah, it was about 85% sold out on the Gold Coast. Lots of Irish fans, because there was a few Irish fighters on the card. My first ever sort of world championship boxing event I've been to, and I was like, well, there's no way I'm not missing this. It's only 15 minutes down the road. So yeah, so Jai, he's like the best boxer we have in Australia on the world stage. He slowly getting noticed more. I think just because the boxing world, it's kind of hard. It's easy to make fights, it's just hard to get them done, because just the way the business of it goes, like you're trying to protect your star fighter. And Jai's really just always been calling for the top guys, and they had to fly in I think it was like ranked 14th in the world in the IBF cruiserweight division to just stay active. Hats off to Claudio. It's always a dangerous fight with shorter opponents that come in like bull rushing you. So well done to Jai to evade those big shots. But as far as boxing and UFC events, like, and watching them, like going to this event, there were 9 fights. I think there were a couple late pullouts a day or 2 before, but it took just over 6 hours for them to get through 9 fights. And UFC, there were 13 fights, and it's a total of like 6.5 hours time to get through it. So boxing, it's a pretty slow pace, sometimes hard to stay energized and getting into it, because it kind of just drags on a bit. Like their walkout wasn't until 11 p.m. Local time, and the main card first, so the 5-fight main card started at 7 p.m. So took 4 hours to get to the main event, and then it didn't end till probably 11:30, and that was without having even post-fight speeches in the ring. Like, they only had one, and then after that, all like the 3 other fights, didn't even get like a little interview in the ring after their wins. So, which I didn't really like, because, you know, you work so hard, you got people paying good money to come watch you, and you can't even get a little shout out to your sponsors and thank your family and all that, and coaches for coming. Instead, like, DAZN was the one who was the network telecasting it, so I guess they just went back up to the panel. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing. Like, you got all this time to host this event. Like, it went for should have gone for an hour and a half less, and you can't even fit in some post-fight speeches in the ring. But yeah, that's just because I watch more MMA, and just the way it's structured, it's way more quicker. Like, when I was at UFC Paris, like, the fight's done, a minute interview, and then immediately, like, the next guys are walking out. So if you're going off to the toilet, you gotta like run, and then you're gonna miss probably half of the first round. But like, as far as all-around viewership of the UFC or MMA events, like, it's a lot more easier and more, the pacing's a lot better, because yeah, boxing, they tend to fluff around a bit. Like, it was a really high production event. It was well run and smooth, but it just drags on a bit. Because yeah, I want to keep going to boxing events, but it's just, yeah, it kind of drags on a bit. Like, the prelim started at like 4:35 p.m. The first fight started, and like, you know, it didn't end till 11:30, 12, and I'm not sure if they had any post-fight speeches for those prelim events as well. So, but on the positive note, absolutely, you know, could, you know, sort of a once in a lifetime sort of thing to be able to go watch a world title fight. That's only 15 minutes down the road. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And, you know, they had 3 national anthems. They had the Italian one, the Samoan one, and the Australian one. I mentioned back a month or so ago, should UFC start doing national anthems for their title fights? And I thought it was kind of a good idea until it's, you know, 11 p.m. at night, and you're like, oh, can we just get over with this? And then they spend another 5 minutes doing national anthems, or 5-10 minutes, and you're like, nah, this isn't a good idea. Because you're like, oh, I just want to see the fights. Like, we've done all the build up and everything. But yeah, so, but no, it was good. Filmed a little vlog of the fight week. Went to the open workouts and the press conference of this boxing event, which was pretty cool to see. So, and then just filmed a little vlog going to the event. So I'll try and get that out next week or so, and just to show you guys what it's sort of like going to these events. But yeah, so that's UFC 316 in the card, in the books. And then we move on to UFC Atlanta. But yeah, hope you guys have had a great day. Hope you guys have a great week. But yeah, thanks for listening. Gonna keep trying to do one of these sort of shows post these events, and try and do some more live event vlogs as well, the ones that I can get to. But yeah, appreciate the support, and yeah, let me know what I can what you want to see more of. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the fights again. Let me know your thoughts on any of them, on Merab and Sean, what's next, or how you thought the fight went. But yeah, again, I'll see you next time.